Talk is very cheap and advice is extremely cheap. I made a video about this on TikTok yesterday that talk is so cheap. Advice is so cheap. And I had the idea to make the video because I've had this thought for a while, which I'm going to get into in this video. But the reason why I made the TikTok yesterday was because I saw someone who was working a laborious job speaking on making money. And I'm thinking to myself, knowledge is not power because this person is clearly full of knowledge of exactly what to do, yet they're not doing it, right? So the faith behind the knowledge is what makes the knowledge power. If you know that you're supposed to invest and you know that you can't work a 9 to 5 until you're 70 and never think about retirement, and you know that you're going to have to make lifestyle and habit changes and budget changes to become financially free, and you still don't do it because you're scared, or you don't have the full steps in front of you. And first of all, you do have the full steps because I just uploaded a 1 hour and 30-minute plus video about the exact pathway of how you're going to become financially free in your 20s. So I don't want to hear that unless you've watched that video and implemented everything that I talked about in there. But again, if you haven't watched that video yet, you get a pass, right? Because at least I can say that I have also shared that information. But it's so easy for people to talk. Talk is so cheap. And it's like I would never take advice from someone who isn't married. I wouldn't take relationship advice from someone who hasn't been married. Just because you feel like you know how relationships work doesn't mean much. I talk about relationships in my videos, right? But until I get married, I wouldn't expect anybody to listen to me about marriage or about relationships because I haven't fully committed to sealing that deal, right? But the video I wanted to make here today was more so on the thought that I've been having, and it's that people who are giving advice are normally successful people or people that have already achieved their goals in life and have already become financially successful. We are already we've used and abused the information that we're sharing. So I don't want you to ever think that the person who you're watching on the internet is in the same place. That was obnoxious. This is bothering me. I don't want you to ever think that you're in the same place as the person who's watching the video. As the person who made the video, right? So the one thing that we can get really bothered by is like, okay, well, this person is making this video, this person is doing this, doing that, they're saying this, saying this information. And you get in your head that that person is still following that advice. Are you okay? No. People who are absolutely successful, who are high achievers and fast movers in life, have already tripled what they're telling you. And it's not because they're gatekeeping, right? We're not gatekeeping any information. The point is, I have literally tapped, like, I don't have any wealthy people around me. All I have is ChatGPT and Google. And I have literally, as of today, like, I genuinely looked to myself and I said, I have tapped out of all the information I can of the internet of how to become uh, more financially stable than I already am. There's no more information. Like, people on the internet can only share so much because the rest of it is behind closed doors. And I'm not sharing information that's not helpful, right? Because there's millions of people who are in debt, don't have good spending habits, don't know where to start, are in their 20s and they want to be retired in their early 30s. They want to get their life on track. They haven't heard anything about they don't even know what financial literacy means, right? So there's a lot of people who can be helped by the videos I'm making when they find them and they apply them, right? Most importantly, apply them. But I'm not sharing anything I haven't already done. I don't do that. Like, in my videos, you'll hear me say, I'm not XYZ, but this is what I think, right? If you don't hear me say that, it means I've already done what I'm speaking about. And I always give a disclaimer because I'm always interested to know, have you done what you're saying? Have you implemented what you're saying? If I've said it and I haven't made a disclaimer, the answer is yes. But I feel like I personally tapped out of all the information that I can give, not give, but all the information that I can find. When you're in school and you're in your starter classes, you're going to feel like, oh, college is going to be so easy because I can just Google and Quizlet, all this stuff. When you get to your your third and a half year, when you're in your second, I guess that would be your third to last semester, or technically would be like your second semester of your third year, you're going to find it really hard to find information on your subject on Google. And the only way you're going to be able to find that information is if you can ask the correct questions and you know how to get to the correct place. Now, this is something I learned years ago because I went through it and I was like, okay, I'm trying to find practice questions. I'm trying to find if my homework is correct. I'm trying to find extra vocabulary words. Can't find anything on the internet, right? And so some people say, oh, you can get a college degree on the internet. Sure. But once you get to a certain threshold of knowledge, the rest of it cannot be found. The rest of it is secluded. And that's what makes it different from investing in your education than just getting it somewhere, right? Free, like YouTube or the internet, which is crazy, first of all. But people who are sharing their information have already tripled, double, quadrupled what they're telling you, because they want you to, because they know that's the fundamentals. And so for me, it's like I made a whole 1 hour video about everything that I currently know about finance up until today. That's everything I know. So when I get older and I have younger people around me that are like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm going to point them to the video that I made in 2024, in December 2024. I'm going to point them to that, or maybe I made it in November. I don't remember, but I'm going to point them to the video that I recently made, right? I made it in 2024, and I'm going to be pointing people to that video until the year 3000, because that video gives you the entire blueprint on how to become financially stable. And that's going to help a lot of people from for generations, right? But there is a cap on the information that we can give. There is a cap on it. And I think that is really important that once you understand that you're getting to the cap and you're like, okay, I'm doing better than everyone around me. I feel like I'm drowning, but I'm actually, in comparison to other people on a private jet, what's going on? And so you're like, okay, you finally realize and start to think, you start to really put the pieces together that you are really a driven person and you just are looking for information that isn't going to be able to be found on the internet. And so it gets to that certain point, but I wanted to really drill in that people who are sharing information, successful people, people that show up as millionaires, successful business owners, and they're sharing information from that perspective. They're like, hey, I'm a successful business owner. Here's what I did. Right? People who are sharing from that, hey, I'm a millionaire. Here's what I did. Here's all the things I learned to do. But people who are sharing from that type of perspective have already mastered what they're telling you. Because one, we would hope that successful people wouldn't be out on the internet giving out BS. That's not always the truth, but I'm saying majority of people who have gained success are giving pretty much like standard information, right? That you can go apply today. What I think though is that they've already we've already, right? Because I'm including myself, we've already tripled, double, quadrupled that and have done it for years. And so that's like what we think about as like an afterthought. We're like the things that we think about are like the imaginary part to most people. But you have to remember that we're no longer doing the information that we're telling you. What we're trying to do is catch people up to speed. So when I share financial information, and I'm currently in the process of categorizing all my videos, all my full length videos that are like all full length, right? Because I have shorts and I have full length videos where I'm talking through something. I'm categorizing all the full length videos into finance, faith, fulfillment, and freedom. Trying to do that now because I have hundreds of videos. But I'm trying to do that now so that when people need financial help, they can go there. When they need uh, help with getting help with being a individual adult, like individualism, which is basically just like independence, right? Having independence as an adult, being able to live on your own. They can go to that playlist. Or that when they really want to seek God and they really want they really want to surrender to something bigger than them, and they're looking for something to lean on to and put their faith into, they can go work on that and really build their faith, because that is the basis. Faith is literally the basis of success, right? Because faith comes by surrender and control specifically. And then I also want to have freedom for people that are like trying to break out of the matrix, but it's more so just like your own thing you have going on. And that's also another important part, because one big thing that I never did, and hopefully this gets out to a lot of people. I know I'm 10 minutes into this video, but I hope that somebody sees this and reposts it somewhere. But the one thing that I never did is try to get somewhere out of revenge, try to get somewhere out of spite. So some people will say, like, I'm getting out the matrix because the government has taken over. Or they will say, okay, I'm gonna like take over this industry so that big companies can do blah 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 blah. What happens when you uh, do things, try to become successful and do things with your life out of spite or vain or revenge for something else, is that you end up making that your focus instead of your success. So you're trying to get success by continuously looking at something else. You're like, I want to be great because of this. It's almost like if you have an ex, right? And you're like, well, I think I talked about this in a video recently, but you have an ex, and then you're like, I want to get a better partner so that they can be jealous, or I want to go get married so my partner can be proven wrong that I can get married. Right? I see that a lot on social media. It's like I would be so disappointed. I saw it yesterday actually too, right? This woman posted about her engagement, or not her engagement, her actual wedding. Like, this is a wedding video. This is photography that her and her family and her fiance paid for. And the caption on the video, like the on screen text, is talking about her ex. Like, my ex thought I could never get married. And here I am. You spent so much time building a relationship with a new person, and all you can do is post in revenge to someone who you literally dated so long ago. Like, that's really lack mindset. You're doing something with revenge and vengeance and vanity and vain in your head to get ahead. You're never going to get ahead like that. What you have to do is say, hey, I forgive my ex for all the things I did. Well, I hope my ex forgives me for all the things I did. I forgive them for all the things they did. And I'm going to seek better because I want better. Not I want better because I want them to see me do better. That just doesn't make sense. So relating back to money, it's like, don't go get money because you want to prove somebody wrong. Go get money because you want to prove yourself right. Right? You want to um, prove yourself right, and that's why you go get money, or you go become successful, or you go do something. Do it because of you. Do it because of something you want to do. Like, that's one thing I never did. I never want something out of revenge. Like, I never had that. And I'm so glad I never did, because I start to see it a lot on social media. Like what I said, it's like you're getting engaged, you're engaged, and you got engaged, and now you're married. You have a covenant with a whole different person, and you're focused on your ex. Your ex still won. If you're trying to get vengeance on your ex and you make them the center of your wedding film, they won. Do you understand that? So it's the like it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, the point of this video was just to simply say that the information that you hear is not the extent of the information that exists. And successful people out in the world are sharing as much as they possibly can to get everybody else up to speed. And everything else is led up to experience. And what happens is that, like, when you're on social media, it's so fun, right? Because you find a video like my video that's an hour, 30 minutes, and you follow all of it to a T, and now you're financially stable. Let's say you do it for 6 months and you're stable, right? Or you're watching someone like Myron Golden, who teaches Bible Bible principles and applies it to money and business and finance in general, right? Or you find somebody who does finance specifically in the finance industry in cryptocurrency, right? You follow their videos and it works and you're doing good. And then you're like, okay, what's next? And there's nothing to be found. You're like, oh, okay. There's nothing but free reign experience that I have to now go on. So it leaves you feeling very lonely because you're like, dang, now I'm not on the playing field of everybody else. I've actually applied the information and now I feel very alone. And it's like all you have left is you. It's like when I was learning, I have two of my main high income skills, but I have like obviously I have a few, but I'm gonna speak on just like, whatever. Um what I learned the most from those experiences of learning skills was actually, yeah, but what I learned most from learning those skills was you are going to get to a point where information on the internet can no longer help you. You're going to be so past that, and your personal experience is going to exceed anything on the internet. Any 10-step guide, any full blueprint is going to exceed any of that. And so you're going to have nothing to do but to use your own knowledge. And obviously, at that point, you are equipped to do it. But that's the scary part. The scary part is realizing that there's no more information out for you. You've mastered all the basics. And now you have to spread your wings and actually apply and expand on everything you've learned. There's no more videos to watch, right? And this is the other point I want to get into is that people that are showing you what they're doing are not only not doing what they're telling you because they've already went past that, but they're not doing what you're currently doing, right? So I'm here filming a video about finance. My page is basically mindset, finance, spirituality with God. I currently have a Bible study going for the next 20 some days. On my page, you can find the videos. I'm on day 3 of that. And, all these things like that, finance and stuff. I'm not on YouTube watching finance videos. I'm not on YouTube watching mindset videos. I'm not on YouTube finding new people and new tips and tricks. Just not doing it. The same way that someone who knows how to fix cars that has been fixing cars for 10 years wouldn't be on YouTube watching a tutorial on how to change a tire. The same way, like me, I have been doing my makeup. I talked about this in my last video, but I've been doing my makeup since 5th grade. I'm not watching makeup tutorials. There's nothing they can give me. Okay. I have mastered the growth path that I want for my hair. Obviously, my hair is not as long as it could be, right? But it's the healthiest it's ever been, and I'm happy with where I am with it. And so I'm not watching hair videos because I've already established and mastered the path that I want to be on. So it's important to realize that the people giving information are not in the same place as you. And that's not to say that we're better. It's just to say that at some point that's going to be you too. If you keep applying information, you will be the one sharing information, receiving nothing. And that's where um, content creation really starts is when you master something so well that you have nothing else to learn. So you just spend your time sharing the information you have as you're learning, as you're growing, and you just share it. And there's nothing else. Like that's just what it is. And you're just sharing that information. And so the people who are making content every day aren't scrolling on TikTok. The successful ones, at least. Um, the ones who are already successful in certain things are not spending their time doing the things that you're doing. So think about that as well, right? If someone who's making videos on finance never watches videos on finance, you one day will never watch videos on finance anymore, right? But if the next video you see and that pops up and you're like, oh, let me click on it, that might have some information I need, right? You're still at the point of learning. You're still at the point of absorbing information, but you're going to get to a point where you click on a video, you hold down the right side of the screen, and it's 2x time, and it's just speeding through what he's saying. And you're like, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. Okay, the video was pointless. And you're going to get to a point where that becomes every single video. You're like, okay. And then if you do watch it, it's like for entertainment, kind of like background noise, maybe. But that's something you're going to go through as well. Like, you're not going to spend your time doing the same things you're doing right now. You're not going to spend time on YouTube, on TikTok, searching things up, Googling things, because you're going to be past that. And so that's coming for you. That's coming for you. And your future is very, very bright. If you watch my channel and you're into this type of information, your future is very, very, very bright. Okay. So that's important. I talked about a lot in this video. I'd personally go back and rewatch it just to catch everything that I said, but I will um, come back with more thoughts when I have them based on this topic.